Hey friends, and welcome. Today I'm going live to share with you Harumph Wines, a Napa Valley Cabernet. So this is a typical traditional Napa Cabernet started by Scotty Stark. He used to be a somm, and so that's why he really wanted this label to be bright, easy to notice, so that as you're pouring it, you can read the label and see. It also has this really cute little monkey on the back on a unicycle. So the idea behind that was to have some whimsy, have some fun, but then surprise and delight with some really serious Napa Cabernet inside. So I'm Paige of Wine with Paige, and I'm partnering today with Cuvée Collective to share more about one of their partner wineries and just chat about what's inside the bottle. So thank you for joining me. I'm excited you're here. So a little more about the wine before we get into tasting. So it's a boutique winery. It's highly allocated. Napa Cabernet is some of the best wine in the world. Although most people associate American wine with Napa, it actually accounts for only 4% of total California production, which means it's hard to get your hands on it and even harder to get your hands on great bottles like this. And that's one of the really cool things about Cuvée Collective. They make it more accessible to join that kind of cool secret party because these wines are highly allocated, so you can only really get it if you're on his mailing list or if you buy the NFT. So really fun concept there. Yeah, shall we get into tasting perhaps? See, so if you're unfamiliar with tasting wine, typically people will start by pouring it and then look at the color. So Napa Cabs tend to be really dark, deep dark red. You can barely see through it. This is because of the skin contact with the wine. Then after that, you swirl it. This helps oxygen get into the wine, especially with a heavier red like Cabernet. You want the oxygen to come in and start to release some of the tannins to make it easier to get those aromatics, those lovely, lovely fruit notes, those lovely notes of vanilla, and really just bring out more flavors here. So we'll swirl, take a sniff. This wine is lovely. I was really enjoying smelling it before we hopped on here. Oh, you can see my cat. Oh, there's Arwen. But this wine's really lovely. It's really bold, really traditional Napa Cab, but with a little bit of like a darker influence. So it has more black fruits in here. There's like nice blackberry, a little bit of like crushed cranberry kind of going on. Also kind of like something earthy and dusty. It's really, really complex, really beautiful. And then you also get some tertiary notes, so stuff that you're going to get from the oak aging in the barrels. Cabernet is typically aged in either French or American oak. I'm unsure with this one, but my guess is that it's French oak because it feels really smooth. Let's see. Okay, and so then our next step after sniffing is to sip. Ooh. Ugh. Yum. That's really lovely. The way it floats into your mouth, it really encompasses your whole mouth and like wraps around your tongue in a really kind of musical way. Like it's not just like going in and going down, like it really, really takes its time along your taste buds. This is really pretty. It's grippy, but in a really soft, friendly way. And so here we're also getting, in addition to like the black fruit that we get on the nose, I am getting more red fruit on the palate. It's kind of like a raspberry thing, like a raspberry cobbler almost, because there's also like all these nice baking spices, dash of vanilla. Yum. That's really good. And like I mentioned, so Harumph is really highly allocated. You can only get it if you're on the list, or if you get his NFT, which there's some really cool perks there. So holders of their NFT have the you get this really cool digital collective of the artwork on the back, that monkey again. And then you also get a chance to taste through the collection with the owner, Scotty Stark, and purchase the wine without waiting to join their mailing list. So really cool benefits there, some fun things. I mean, it's rare to get your hands on a Napa Cab as beautiful and complex as this. One other thing I wanted to mention about this wine was, so the name actually comes from a Mel Brooks movie, Blazing Saddles. And so for a long time after Scotty created this wine, he had a really hard time coming up with a name. So it was a moonshine bottle. Or a shiner bottle, which is what winemakers refer to as bottles without a label. And the name actually took months and months to come up with. And at some dinner party, his friend quoted that movie, and it stuck. But I think it's a really nice, memorable name. Really great wine. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Cheers.